Hey guys, welcome to my top 5 best animated movies of this decade. Now the main reason why I'm doing this instead of a top 10 best Christmas movies is because if you don't remember, I became sick and didn't really have enough energy to do the work, and I feel like with it being really close to Christmas as I'm filming this, I couldn't get it out in time. So instead, I'm making this for the end of the decade, which as of right now, I do have a lot of time for. And if you do want a top 5 worst animated films of this decade list, then leave a like on this video and comment down below with just, can you make a top 5 worst animated films list? But before we get started, these are just my personal opinions. And if you hate any of the movies on this list or feel like I missed one, just tell me in the comments, I won't judge. Also, the movies shown in the video are not owned by me. They're owned by animation studios that also I do not own either. So just keep in mind that this is just for review and I'm not trying to steal any of these movies. I'm just trying to give my opinion on these movies. But with that being said, let's just get right into the list. The Lego Movie is a great movie, with likable characters, great story, witty humor, and gorgeous animation. Like, it looks like everything is made out of real Legos, honestly. I really enjoyed the story and how it affects the characters, and the characters from Emmett to Wildstyle to freaking Abraham Lincoln are just... they're great. They're really great. Also, apparently a lot of people thought it was going to be some dumb commercial like, but I actually was one of the people who thought it was actually going to be something amazing. And what do you know? I was right. Now, the main reason why it's lower on the list is because I don't think it's as good as the rest of the films on this list, even though that statement will probably bite me in the butt because that's just my opinion. But anyways, let's move on. Rango is an amazing film, with it having a really cool aesthetic, with the characters looking dirty and beat up, which at first glance is one thing I didn't really like about the film, but now it just makes the movie look so much better in comparison. The story is so good, with Rango being this made-up sheriff, made up by this gecko who wants to be an actor, and that's so cool, like that's just really cool. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'd recommend you watch the film yourself. So, honestly, that's really all I can say. It's just a great film. But yeah, anyways, guys, let's move on. Megamind is a comedic masterpiece. Megamind is just so brilliant with its comedy and its storytelling. Now, I'm not going to tell the whole story because I think you should watch it because it is just so brilliant, and we haven't even gotten to number 2. But anyways, the story is about these 2 aliens who landed on Earth, one being the hero, Metro Man, and the other one being the villain, Megamind. Now, this film had somewhat of the same idea as Despicable Me, with the story being from the villain's perspective, and due to it coming out after Despicable Me, it wasn't received as good, even though it's miles better in comparison. One thing I also love is the meme factor we get from this film. Like, they're freaking hilarious.
No, what I'm saying is, don't you think it's a little odd that the ice hasn't melted yet?
One of life's great mysteries.
Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier and welcome back to Undertale. Now,
along with the comedy being great too, like I laughed out loud at this film, and I don't really do that often. It was such a good film. It is sad that we didn't get a sequel though, which I would have loved by the way. But yeah, anyways guys, let's move on. Klaus is a Christmas masterpiece. Now I did do a reaction/review video on Klaus, so if you guys want to see my reaction to the movie and what my afterthoughts were, then go check it out with the eye in the corner. Now, my actual critical opinion on this is that it was so beautiful. The way that this movie was done was amazing, combining CGI backgrounds with hand-drawn 2D character models. However, the story is cliche, but in a good way, where you could understand what was going on with the story and characters, along with it feeling sharp with its comedy and tone. Honestly, I could go on and on about this film on how amazing it is, but I don't want to spoil it, and also, we have a number 1. And with that, I feel like a lot of people already know what number 1 is. And the number 1 best animated film of this decade is, drumroll please, The Emoji Movie is a masterpiece with great comedic time. Okay, let me just stop myself right there before people think I'm serious. Spider-Man Into the SpiderVerse is definitely the greatest animated film of this decade. SpiderVerse is just so brilliant with its writing, giving us likable characters that we can relate to, like Miles, and see them grow from some normal kid into a hero. And it's not just Miles. We have characters like Peter B. Parker, who was once a hero but getting too old to be one. And it's shown with great detail, like him webbing the doorbell instead of walking up to it. Spider-Gwen is also a great character, and honestly, a great way to make a female character, with her and Miles becoming best friends instead of a couple, like how most films do it. And the rest of the cast is great too. We got Spider-Noir, Penny Parker, Spider-Ham, all being animated in different styles, and I haven't even gotten to the animation yet. The animation is gorgeous, with the animators replicating a comic book-like style, and it just looks beautiful. Now before we talk about the villains, I just have to talk about Aunt May. This is definitely, without a doubt, the best rendition of Aunt May in any medium. I love how much of a badass they made her in this movie, because it's just out of nowhere, but in such a good way. Okay, now let's just get on to the villains. Kingpin is such a good villain in this movie. I mean, sure, his backstory isn't really the best, but it works for what the story is. Now let's talk about the story. Now, the story is actually really confusing when you think about how complex it is, but it just works. Like, honestly, it just really works. Now, I'm not going to tell you what happens, because obviously, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it, because it's just fantastic. But anyways, I could go on and on and on why this film is so amazing. But to avoid this video from being an hour long, I'm just gonna have to wrap it up right here and say that this is definitely the best animated movie of this decade. Like, it's incredible. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. Tell me what your favorite movie of this decade was, and if you guys do want a worst animated films of this decade list, then tell me in the comments below, and leave a like. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!